People have to live in unity.
We are still in transition.
Civil society has been decimated.
Of course, we rely on media.
And I think the government has not done enough.
The international community has failed to respond.
No place in the world is perfect.
Hello viewers, I'm your host Shivangi Mishra with another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. India's relationship with Japan is one of its strongest of any nation. Both India and Japan share a common heritage of Buddhist idols and a strong people-to-people bond that goes beyond economic alliances. It is manifested in the multi-cornered cooperation and in the ever-widening scope of bilateral alliance. The relationship is now swiftly heading towards exemplary diplomacy. Let's take a deeper look at the relationship between the two countries, who are now the leading voices of a world order being shaped increasingly by the global south.
The Delhi Metro, one of the largest metro networks in the world, recently commemorated 20 years of its operations. Japan has provided both financial and technological assistance to India in developing several metro corridors. The anniversary not only marked 2 decades of a successful metro run, but it also highlighted the Indian-Japanese relationship that can today be characterized by a strong strategic partnership, a burgeoning business collaboration, a deep cultural connection, and a tactical geopolitical alliance. The images you see here are of another joint undertaking between India and Japan, where both sides have collaborated to manufacture India's first bullet train. With nearly 25% of the work completed, India's first bullet train is expected to hit the tracks by 2027.
Japanese team and Indian team, they are working so closely together. And in my eyes, this is already a revolution underway. Japan and India enjoy special relations, which are in special partnership, which is indeed both strategic and global. So we are cooperating in many important areas, such as defense and security area, international fora. We're closely cooperating on UN Security Council.
There are several other Indian projects that have also received Japanese support. The trade imbalance has been narrowed between India and Japan gradually, with Indian exports to Japan rising each year, which primarily include petroleum products, chemicals, and elements. As per the Embassy of India in Japan, the bilateral trade between India and Japan for the financial year 2021 to 2022 totaled 20.57 billion USD. India's exports to Japan amounted to 6.18 billion USD, while India's imports from Japan amounted to 14.39 billion USD. On his visit to India earlier this year, Prime Minister Fumio Kishida announced a 42 billion USD investment in India within the next 5 years. Experts say Japanese power corridors consider India to be one of the most reliable partners in the world.
We also have a very strong strategic engagement with each other, which is quite unusual for a country like Japan, which calls itself or which prides itself as a pacifist power. So that's a special place that they have marked out for India to have strategic relations. We are also one of the largest recipients of official development assistance, ODA, from Japan.
With 14 bilateral premier-level summits, a continued flow of people and tech, and uniquely integrated yet individual strategies to counter global threats, Indian-Japanese ties have become a curious case study for observers around the world. Both India and Japan have their own ways of dealing with global issues. For example, the two countries had contrasting stances on the Russia-Ukraine conflict, However, this had no bearing on their relationship. India's partnership with Japan has also picked up great momentum lately. The two countries, with political and military alliances, will have their first ever joint air combat drills next year. The two have already been conducting the annual Malabar naval exercise along with the United States in order to preempt and prepare for any future crisis in the Indo-Pacific, especially from expansionist Chinese campaigns. India and Japan are also part of the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, popularly called the Quad. The security alliance also includes the United States and Australia. The geographic positioning provides great proximity and strategic advantage to both India and Japan in case any threats emerge out of China.
India-Japan strategic partnership and also their partnership as part of the Quad is a deterrence for China, and the Chinese are aware of it. That is why they are not very happy with the developments of the Quad in the Indo-Pacific region. So definitely India-Japan strategic partnership is a deterrent for China in the Indo-Pacific region.
After establishing formal ties in 1952, the India-Japan relationship has touched several highs. Apart from trade, investment, and military, the one fundamental tie that binds Japan and India together is the democratic and pro-peace, pro-people outlook in their domestic and foreign policies. Neither India nor Japan can be accused of being an aggressor or anti-global welfare. Observers have praised both countries' ways of governance and diplomacy. The two now also hold very important presidencies. Japan is at the helm of G7, while India will remain G20 president for the next 1 year. Both are expected to make significant contributions to immediately needed solutions to the world's problems. If India and Japan have individually shown the world that good can be achieved through peaceful means, their ties serve as an example for the rest of the global community to forge and nurture an alliance of this nature.
Moving on. Bangladeshi people were delighted as their country became the third in South Asia after India and Pakistan to have a metro rail system. According to experts, the 12-kilometer Dhaka Metro line, which has been built with Japan's financial and technical assistance, will bring relief to the highly congested city of 20 million.
Excited residents in Bangladesh's capital Dhaka formed long lines in the early hours, patiently waiting for their turn to catch a train ride on the city's first metro rail system. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina opened Line 6, the first metro line of the mass rapid transit system, which took approximately 6 years to complete. Hasina said that the metro would usher in a revolution that would catapult Bangladesh into an era where it can pursue its mission of smart Bangladesh.
আজকে সকালবেলা চলে এসেছি মেট্রো রেলে উঠতে, কারণ মেট্রো রেল হচ্ছে আমাদের জন্য একটা স্বপ্নের মতো। এত বড় স্বপ্নটাকে আসলে বাস্তব রূপে দেখতে খুবই ভালো লাগছে, এর জন্য ঘুরতে যাওয়ার জন্যই চলে এসেছি।
Partially funded by Japan, the line is expected to transport some 60,000 passengers each hour in the densely populated city. Construction of the Line 6 project, which extends the line to Kamalapur from Motiji, cost nearly $3.3 billion. 10 pairs of trains with 6 coaches each will run on this route initially for 4 hours, carrying about 500,000 passengers daily.
ফ্যামিলি সহ নিয়ে আসি আলহামদুলিল্লাহ ঘোরার জন্য, খুব ভালো লাগতেছে। মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রীকে অনেক অনেক ধন্যবাদ এই উদ্যোগ নেওয়ার জন্য। আমরা আলহামদুলিল্লাহ খুব উন্নয়নশীল দেশে পৌঁছেছি আলহামদুলিল্লাহ, এর জন্য মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রীকে আবার।
In 2017, when Bangladesh first made the announcement of the metro rail project, the cash-strapped South Asian nation said it aimed to build the system at a cost of $737.5 million. The entire network, which would have 6 lines and more than 100 stations, would help eradicate traffic jams in the congested city of more than 20 million people.
বলার মতো না, মানে সকাল 7টা বাজে এসে লাইনে দাঁড়াইলাম, এখন উঠলাম আর চলেও আসছি এত অল্প টাইমে, মানে এটা আমাদের গর্ব।
In South Asia, India and Pakistan already have metro lines, with India on a mission to develop one of the longest metro routes in the world in coming years. As per a report presented in Indian Parliament, India already has metro lines of around 750 kilometers across 19 cities, with 27 more cities developing 1,000 kilometer of metro system for commuting, which will be ready in few years from now.
Moving on. Of all the investments India is drawing, owing to its robust economic growth, its luxury furniture market too has been showing positive trends. While on one hand the Indian furniture market has boomed, there is an increasing number of foreign players who are now contributing to Indian houses' high-end decor.
The premium furniture market in India is witnessing a boom, with major infrastructure development in cities across the country. Indian consumers are now spending on premium furniture and decor. With many high-income households as eager consumers, many international brands are now ready and eager to move into the Indian furniture market.
अगर इम्पोर्टेड फर्नीचर की बात करेंगे तो इंडिया में उस फर्नीचर के बहुत अच्छी स्कोप है। बेस्ट है कि आज 3-3, 4-4 करोड़ रुपए का जब बजट है लोगों का इंटीरियर का, तो उस बजट में तो सारा प्रीमियम प्रोडक्ट आ सकता है। तो फिर आप मान के चलिए कि बहुत ज़्यादा स्कोप है। 30-30, 35-35 करोड़ रुपए के फ्लैट हैं, तो उसमें 7-7 करोड़ रुपए उनका इंटीरियर का बजट है, तो स्कोप है।
The Indian furniture market was evaluated at $17.77 billion USD in 2020. It is expected to surpass $37.72 billion USD by the end of 2026, growing at a double-digit compound annual growth rate of 13.37%. India's furniture market, which is primarily driven by the tourism, hospitality, and corporate sectors, is the 14th largest in the world. The increase of hotels, shops, offices, co-working spaces, and e-marketplaces continues to fuel domestic demand for furniture. At the recently held India International Furniture Fair, many foreign brands showcased their high-end furniture products. For example, the best of the Turkish furniture manufacturing industry came together with their Indian counterparts to enter the burgeoning Indian furniture market.
People have moved on from having just like one couch, one coffee table or one dining table to a complete 360-degree interior, a good-looking home where they want to, have a complete home decor and also have a beautiful feel in their house, and they're also trying to adapt to a global lifestyle.
The Indian furniture industry is rapidly growing and becoming increasingly organized. This has not only given large market space to foreign players, but the domestic players as well. The government's indigenization push has also created a climate that will further boost the furniture market. Despite the global downturn, many sectors across nearly all industries in India are booming. The growth of the furniture market in India is but one area where Brand India excels and will continue to excel.
Time now for Asia This Week, the stories from across the continent.
Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu held his first cabinet meeting on Thursday after being sworn in as Prime Minister earlier in the day. The 73-year-old political veteran, who is on trial of graft charges he denies, he sought to calm concerns about the fate of civil rights and diplomacy since his bloc of nationalist and religious parties secured a parliamentary majority in a November 1 election. His allies include the religious Zionism and Jewish power parties, which oppose Palestinian statehood and whose leaders, both West Bank settlers, have in the past agitated against Israel's justice system, its Arab minority and LGBT rights. His government secured 63 of a possible 120 parliamentary votes in a confirmatory ballot before the cabinet was sworn in. For Palestinians, Netanyahu's lineup has darkened an already bleak outlook, with violence surging and Jewish settlements set to expand in the West Bank, among territories where they hope to build a future state. Netanyahu's conservative Likud party said in its guidelines for the government that it would promote and development settlement on lands to which the Jewish people has an exclusive and unassailable right. South Korea's health authorities said this week that it will impose mandatory COVID-19 tests on travelers from China from next week, joining the US, Japan and other countries in taking new border measures after Beijing's decision to lift stringent zero-COVID policies. Seoul would also restrict issuing short-term visas for Chinese nationals until the end of next month and temporarily halt increasing flights from China while using Incheon International Airport as the only gateway for any flights from the neighboring country. Effective January 5, travelers from China would be required to submit a negative result from a PCR test no more than 48 hours or a rapid antigen test taken within 24 hours before departure and undergo another PCR test upon arrival starting January 2. After the long pandemic halt, Japanese firm All Nippon Airways or ANA has resumed business. It has resumed all domestic and international flights. ANA is working on promoting its business by collaborating with YouTubers and influencers. Kimono Mom is a famous Japanese influencer with a whopping subscriber base of 1.4 million on YouTube. ANA collaborated with her on a family trip for promotion. ANA takes care that traveling for and with children is easy. Totori is located at West Japan seaside of Japanese archipelago. In the winter, it gets covered under a blanket of snow. Kurayoshi town keeps Edo-era's town scenery. White warehouse and red roof tile go well with the clean river water. Mochi is a sticky rice cake and a popular traditional food in Japan. 12 colors mean Japanese ancient official cloth of imperial court lady. It layers 12 color clothes. Fresh crab is a quite popular seafood specialty in Japan. Totori provides matsuba crab. That is most popular meal of winters.
運ばれてきた瞬間から香りがすごくて、食べてみると甘みも凝縮されてて、焼きガニが結構おすすめです。
Totori receives a lot of snow in winter. The region known for its sand dunes witnessed all 4 distinct seasons. Every season here attracts many tourists. ANA continues to develop aggressive promotion strategies like collaborating with famous influencers and personalities. It is through continuous efforts like these that ANA is on the upward slope of progress. This is famous ramen museum in Japan's Yokohama city. Established in the year 1994, it exhibits the history and evolution of ramen. Ramen noodles have always played an important role in boosting tourism in Yokohama. Ramen noodles were invented as a fusion meal of Japan and China after Japan became an open economy in 1859. Later, different versions of ramen started originating in different areas of Japan. There is a strong bond between ramen and Yokohama. After 1899, when Japanese authorities barred foreign settlements, authorities recommended the Chinese to become chefs. This accelerated ramen culture in Japan.
海外の方がですね、非常にそのラーメンの歴史の方に興味がある方が多くてですね、結構熱心に展示物を見ていらっしゃる方が多いです。日本の方はですね、最近その昭和ブームというものもありまして、歴史というよりもですね、その地下の空間の方に行っていただいて、昭和の街並みで写真を撮る、そういった方が多く見られます。
In 1910, the first ramen restaurant, Rai Rai Kane, was launched. 13 Chinese cooks from Yokohama supported it. During the busy season, some 3,000 customers visit the restaurant to eat ramen. Visitors can even try to make ramen noodle in a traditional way. Bamboo stick is used to prepare ramen noodles. Ramen town is surrounded by Showa era's atmosphere. Some 1 billion yen were spent to authentic look to this place. Based on its long and interesting history, Yokohama preserves memory of not only its food culture but social traditions as well.
Moving on. People all over the world celebrated Christmas last week. South Asia, particularly India, is home to a large number of Christians, and the country witnesses a wide range of celebrations, from low-key affairs to spectacles on this occasion. The air was filled with zeal and fervour in other South Asian countries too. So let's see how this year's Christmas brought cheers this year. Exuberance and delight filled the atmosphere as neighborhoods across different Indian towns glittered on Christmas. Children adorned in red enthusiastically celebrated the festival, while the elderly were seen grooving in their funky outfits. It is said that Christmas, which lights up the environment, is a marker of the essence of relationships in which giving and receiving hold equal relevance. People wait for their Santas who bring them gifts on the birth anniversary of Jesus. Elderly in India's financial capital Mumbai held a unique celebration this time around as they were seen dancing, singing and running. They strive to be happy and believe that laughter is the best medicine.
Today's celebration is totally different. Running group is there, laughter group is there, dancing group is there, and our singing group is there. And talented people are there.
Churches glowed with lights and devotees said they could feel an enlightenment vibe descending over them. Adorned in their finest attire, carrying cheerful gestures, a large number of them gathered to offer prayers to Jesus on Christmas Eve. People in India's southern city of Hyderabad hosted a Christmas event and appealed to people to offer prayers so that they could express gratitude and seek forgiveness at the same time.
I invite people on the occasion of this auspicious Christmas day to seek God's help, forgiveness. Lord, forgive me. We are not alone. Once we receive the Lord, He will stand on our side. He will fight our battle. He will escape us. He will rescue us. The real help will come from God.
Similar scenes were witnessed in other parts of the subcontinent too. From the island nation of Sri Lanka to Himalayan Nepal, people gathered in huge numbers to mark the festival. The streets of Sri Lanka were decorated with lights, creating a beautiful atmosphere. Apart from celebrations, Sri Lankans also sought the blessing in order to emerge from the economic crisis the country has been plunged into for the past several months. Christmas followed by New Year bring cheers all around the world. With that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Goodbye and take care.
People have to live in unity.
We are still in transition.
Civil society has been decimated.
Of course, we rely on media.
And I think the government has not done enough.
The international community has failed to respond.
No place in the world is perfect.